Hey guys. Bad news on the Bear and Beard front.
Tragic.
We don't have an episode for you this week.
But we do have an episode for you this week.
That's right.
A way.
In a way. So we recently joined forces with the Hesitation Station, a podcast started by some friends that we've made over the years. They come and see us at cons and they started their own podcast. So we kind of scooped them up and put them under the Bearded Bear Entertainment logo.
We reeled them in, and we're glad to do so. And we collaborated with them with an awesome episode about cons, which is where we meet them at.
Exactly. So for this episode of the Bear the Beard podcast, we're actually going to let you listen to the third episode of the Hesitation Station podcast called Con Talk. And we really hope you enjoy it. We are looking forward to working with these guys much more in the future. They have a few other episodes out already, and well, let's just let them do the talking. Take it away, Tank and Jay.
Attention passengers, this is your conductor speaking. We are about to arrive at the Hesitation Station. Please mind your step as you enter the station.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of the Hesitation Station. And this is actually a special episode today. I am Jay, along with my co-host Tank. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Looking forward to this.
Looking forward to it. How excited are you? 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10, I'd have to say a 12.5.
12.5. Sorry, I said 1 out of 10, not 12.
You know I can't count.
Anyway, guys, we have a special guest here, and you might know them if you tune into their podcast. We got the Bear and the Beard podcast. How you doing, guys?
Brucey's mail, my guys.
Mail Brosius, my dudes, how we doing?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
I appreciate y'all coming on.
Absolutely, we're glad to be here.
For sure.
And I'm very excited about this episode. I've been excited about this episode all week. Now, for the guys that have not heard these podcasts, first off, what are you doing with your life? You need to go listen to them. They cover stuff from Doctor Who, Letterkenny. One of my favorite episodes that they've done is Xbox versus PlayStation. By the way, PlayStation wins. I don't care what y'all say. So I'm just saying.
It's so funny too because I remember that episode. That was one of the ones I had to film on location. Like I had to record that in Tennessee when I was on travel, and that was the only one I've ever had to do like that.
Really? I didn't even know you were on
biggest thing
location.
about that episode I remember. So
Jalen's
Well-
just upset he hasn't gone to Tennessee for that.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's why I'm upset. So, anyway, guys, today we're talking about a special episode, not only just because y'all guys are on here, but because we're talking about Comic-Cons. That is our main topic this week. And the reason why we're doing that is because me and Tank here are going to Huntsville this weekend.
First off, it's a two-parter, good sir. Two-parter. It's a two-parter, man. How you can not be excited?
Oh, dude, I'm super excited. I'm excited about going to this con. So what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to do stuff different. We're just going to talk about our experiences with cons, the people that we've met, voice actors that we've met, the cosplayers that we met, just everything all together. And I thought it would be a fun little topic, especially with something that all of us have experienced. So I figured that would be something we could talk about.
cons are great.
I hate cons.
You hate cons. Oh,
could you imagine?
you're right. No, but seriously though, like cons are amazing. Just in general, we first got involved in cons back in 2021. I had been to a few before that, like small cons, big cons, whatever. But they're just so much fun. It really is a culmination of the nerd community in one place. And I think we talked about this on an episode that we did. I can't remember which one it was, but we talked about like kind of the birth of Comic Cons and how they happen. And it's not that anymore. It's not just a bunch of old guys that want to sell their comics and collectibles to people that wouldn't like they don't want coming to their house.
It's a celebration of fandom. And that's the wonderful thing about it. Like every focus that someone has, any hobby, whether you're like into paintball or whatever, like everyone has a thing where you gather with people who are like-minded and you do a thing. But Comic Cons, I feel, are so much bigger because it's not just one thing coming into there. You got Star Wars fans, you got Star Trek fans, you got people coming in for wrestlers sometimes. Like it's a culmination of different parts of fandom. And yet you're never going to go to a con and not meet someone that doesn't love a fandom just as much as you. Mm-hmm. And so it's the perfect place to meet like-minded people. And we all want to do that as humans.
You know, when I was growing up, for some odd reason, it was not cool to be the anime nerd. It was not cool to be the comic nerd. You know, it was challenging, at least for me, because I was the person that did hand signs, like Naruto hand signs in the middle school, and that's probably why I got a lot of swirlies. But it's okay, you know. I digress. But and now going to cons and being a nerd is widely acceptable, way more than what it was back in when I was growing up, and it's gotten to a point to where I can go to a con and make friends at a con and not worry about being judged and not worry about, you know, hey, you like this? Oh, you know, what a nerd. And, you know, I don't have to worry about that. And that's why I like going to cons, even now to this day.
Don't feel bad. I'm 34 years old and I still swipe my hands like I'm using the Force to open automatic doors.
Same here.
Like I do that, and anytime I'm in a pool, I still hang out in the corner like Spider-Man. So
yes, so little things like that. There's like memes online of like things that people do that they're like for the longest time when you do as a kid, you think you're the only one who does it. But then you see these memes online and thousands of people who didn't plan on doing this thing. It's just the thing we all do it. No one told me or taught me, hey, it's like the Force if you move your hand when the thing moves. I just did that. And someone I've never met also does that because it's this joy that we can all find in something that looks that way.
You weren't the only one. You were probably just the only one in your friend group, and that's what you have to remember.
I was in the wrong friend group. That's why we go to cons, so we get the right friend groups.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it's like an unspoken brotherhood. You know, growing up, I was a big fan of Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, you know, the Power Rangers and Godzilla and all that. And not once did it ever cross my mind that I would meet any of the Power Rangers, you know, or any of the voice actors from the cartoons that I've watched growing up. 2013, 2014, me and Jay went to my first con, and I was floored. The amount of love in that room or in that building was astounding. Ran into a table that had Jason David Frank on it, rest his soul. Starstruck. Did not know what to say.
Oh, dude, my hands were sweaty. Like when I met him, I was like, oh my God.
Just hands down one of the best experiences of my life. And thankfully, I've made friends, you know, Jay and all the other people I hang out with that are still into all of that. It's nice to go by yourself, but it's nice to have a small group of friends that you can go and partake in with.
Absolutely.
We've definitely moved into the it's one thing to attend, but it's a complete different thing to be a part of. to have a booth at, or to do panels and stuff like that.
I much
And-
prefer having a booth. I mean, it comes with a little more responsibilities because you have to watch the booth and you have things you're doing when you're there, like you have panels you have to get to. But standing at a con and not having like a home base to go to like rest and catch your breath is the worst. That's
be a
the
little
worst
overwhelming.
part about cons is the walking, especially if
Mhm.
you're in a really crowded con. Have either of you guys been to Pensacon?
No.
I've been to Dragon Con in Atlanta, and
Oh, yeah, that's a big
Yeah.
one.
stretched across 5 different hotels throughout central Atlanta. It was glorious, but good God, it's a walking.
So I want to preface what I'm about to say by saying I enjoyed my time at Pensacon, and I loved who I got to meet at Pensacon. Pensacon was a lot of fun.
For more opinions, go and listen to our Pensacon wrap-up episode.
Yes. But when
Nice
we were
plug.
on the con floor, like where all the merch people were, you walk in, you don't get to stop moving unless you have to stop moving, and then you don't get to choose when you're moving again. So like I actually wonder the people who were there selling merchandise, how much money they lose on people who like see something they want but they can't stop in time to like ask about it. Like that's the negative sides of cons though. The
Yeah.
con of cons, you could say.
Yeah.
Every con's
I
got a
don't-
con list.
I know this is super far fetched, and I'm gonna cross my fingers that we get to where you guys are at, where we get to go to cons as hesitation, and that we can be on that side of a con, because all the cons I've ever been to, I'm gonna speak for myself that I've always been the customer. I've always been the one walking around, meeting people, getting stuff, buying merch. I've never been on the other side. So that would be fun to me, but it also sounds like it would be a lot of stress.
Well, yes and no. So fan tables are typically free. You can be a part of a con.
Mhm.
We don't sell anything at our booths. We do charity work. I say we, but Bear's done it more than I have because he's been to more cons than me as the podcast. But the podcast does these charity things at these cons, and you guys can do stuff like that too. Absolutely, like nothing's stopping
Yeah.
you.
There was no like us doing the charity work wasn't a requirement to get in the door to our first con. It literally was, hey, we're a podcast, we record stuff, we talk nerdy things, we applied, and we got the in. And then we were like, okay, we're going to this con. But for us personally, it was like we need to do something more. We don't need to, we're not just going to sit there and promote a Facebook group or even just ourselves, because that wasn't our message. So we were like, let's do a charity raffle. Let's see if we can get involved with the Children's of Mississippi Hospital. We'll tell them whatever we collect, we'll donate, whatever. And we got like $500 that first con, and it was like, all right. And then it lit a fire, and now everything we've done ever since then has been with that charity. But again, that wasn't a requirement. I would recommend highly if you have a small con that you both can go to, because that's been our main struggle for me and Brian. Brian lives all the way in Nebraska. To get him down here to the South to go to a con it takes scheduling, it takes strategy. We pull it off at least once a year, sometimes twice, but it takes planning. But for you guys being both down here in the South, I think Jay, you're Alabama, and Tank, you're still here in Mississippi, right?
Yeah.
So find one in between. Find one that's not too far of a drive for either one of you. Hell, get with me, find out what cons we're applying for.
Yep.
And I'll send you the link as soon as I get it, because most of the time I get it in an email like, hey, you've already been to this con, so we're sending a reminder email to see if you want to come back. Dude, fill out the app. Do a thing.
Come talk.
If you have recording equipment, bring it with you. Tell them in the description we're going to record stuff for our podcast. Blah blah blah.
pull people off the walking path and say, "Hey, want to be on a podcast?" Have them come in.
Pull up a chair.
It just adds to the con experience, because not only because when you have a fan booth, you don't have to be at the fan booth from start to finish. If you have something valuable there, you're definitely going to want someone there to watch it. That's why we always have someone at the booth. But you could still walk the con floor and be a con guest while also having a home base to do all the other. It's just an extra experience, and nothing's stopping you from that.
Yeah, I understand that, because I kind of wanted to take that Iron Man gauntlet when I came to y'all booth that day.
I've had so many people. I finally had to start telling people, like, look, I'll sell it to you, but you have to give me at least what I have to buy another one for.
Right.
So, like, if you want to
just order one on
Iron
Amazon.
Man gauntlet, that's fine. But I'm going to look up the price on Amazon, because I'm going to need to replace it in 2 days. And I'm going to look up the price on Amazon, and you're going to have to pay me that price, because I'm going to buy it right now. Like, it's not going to be, you're not getting a deal on it. You might as well just go and buy it yourself.
Right.
Like, can I put it on layaway?
Right.
Tank, was the one that me and you went to where we first met JDF, was that our first con?
I don't know about you, but I know, like, for me and you, yeah, that was the first one. That was officially my first con. It was Wizard World down in New Orleans. So we ended up, I booked the hotel. We got some rinky-dink hotel down in New Orleans. And it was the first time that I'd ever been to a convention. So, we go through, they got the big banner, "Welcome to Wizard World, 2013, whatever it was." And, we walked through, and my jaw dropped, because up until that point, I had never seen, like, you always see, like, stuff on TV, in the movies and all that, about how, I guess, a group gets together and, like, the jocks get together, the nerds get together or whatever in the movies, and you see how it turns out. But to see it in person and to see a huge building just filled with, Star Trek fans, Star Wars fans, Knight Rider, Power Rangers, everything just blew my mind. And then to go through and see all the voice actors, the celebrities, the wrestlers, the actors, and all that, just, dude, it was, for a point, it was overwhelming until I sat down, took a sip of my Coke and was like, all right, we're doing this.
Hell yeah.
We've had several instances like that. Like, I went to what is now Fan Expo, was Wizard World, this last year, and getting to meet Henry Winkler was the highlight. Like, I could have met Juan Carlo Esposito. I could have met I forget his name. He played Black Bolt. He also is in one of the new Star Trek shows. But, like, I could have met them. But I got to meet Henry Winkler, who, the Fonz, he's also been in a lot of Adam Sandler projects and stuff like that. And I had that moment where I walked, and I guess he could tell I was nervous, because he reached out and took both of my hands in his hands and said, "I'm so glad you came up to talk to me." I'm like, ah! Like, no, I'm glad you took time to talk to me. He's like, and I love coming to events like this to meet people that were fans of, like, even my earlier work and stuff like that. Because I grew up on Happy Days, and then I've watched him ever since. And getting to talk to them like they're regular people is also,
they are. And you get that when you meet them. Like, when we were at Pensacon, I met some of the cast members from Clerks, because I'm a huge Clerks fan. And just talking to them and just seeing how, like,
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Except for Randall. Like, Randall, the actor who plays Randall in Clerks, he is that character. Like, he said in interviews that they just kind of throw him in. The actor who plays Jay is also similar to that. But Randall is just that eccentric, says whatever's on his mind. He was sitting there just trading stuff, giving people crazy eyes. It was awesome. They are just people.
Yep.
Yeah, and
We
see, one thing people, I guess, don't realize is, we were talking about this earlier. They have such a hectic schedule. Like, yeah, you get there most of the time, 95% of the time, they're going to be happy to see you. It's going to be a great experience. But people need to keep in mind that most of the year, they're probably either on the road or in planes going from point A to point B. So there may be a time or two where it's not going to be a happy go lucky experience. They're going to be tired, underfed, what have you. Just keep in mind, like, hey, I mean, like when I met the few Power Rangers that I've met, I mean, it's an excellent experience. It's somebody I never thought I'd get to meet ever. And oh my God, here they are. Take it as you will.
I'll never forget telling um, Christina Ricci that she was one of my first celebrity crushes back when I watched Casper. And then
Her
she came
coming
and
by the table. So yeah,
she then came because that's what I love. Sometimes they kind of rush you through the line if you're not getting a photo because you're just saying hi real quick. But some of them will sit there and like find ways to have a conversation. How are you liking the con? What are you up to with the con? And so I started talking about the podcast and that we were there doing charity. And she said if she had time later, she'd come by the booth and donate. And I thought it was cool that she even offered that. Then she actually came by.
Oh, that was sweet.
It was
I wasn't even at the table. I was very disappointed. I didn't get to meet her.
But we do have a photo of her putting one of our little decals into her purse.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh, I mean, we've obviously met a lot of actors, voice actors, things like that. And it's very hard to narrow it down to which one would be, I guess, for me, my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
And there's been some times I've had.
I'll let you struggle.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I will tell you there was a cringe moment. There was my favorite one that I met that I don't think I was this nervous beside meeting JDF. This was the one that had me the most nervous, and that was the lovely Tara Strong. And my hands were sweating. I was like, what am I going to tell her? What if I mess it up? And I went up there and I told her I was like, oh, I'm a huge fan of yours and blah, blah, blah. And for the life of me, and I regret this. I looked at her and I said, Miss Strong, I just want you to know I've had a crush on you since I was like 8 or 9. And she looked at me. Oh my God, I wish I wouldn't have said it. But she looked at me and she's like, thanks, you asshole. Now I feel old. I'm like, no, that is not what I was aiming for. I was like, dude, look, she holds a special place in my heart because I knew her from Riku from Final Fantasy X, and I knew her growing up from all the stuff that I've done. And it was just like, I screwed this up. I screwed it up and I hate it. But I love meeting her.
Yes, meeting her is amazing. That is a hilarious story, and just knowing that if I had said an age with Christina Ricci, maybe she would have said something similar. I'm glad I just said. Ever since I was younger, you were like one of my earliest childhood crushes. Because I mean, yeah, how could you not say that to one of your childhood crushes though when they're a celebrity, right? Like, but I too also got to meet Tara Strong. And thanks to our friend Katie, I got pretty much for me a free autograph.
Nice.
So Tara had went on her Instagram and maybe also her TikTok, and she had posted a video where she was going to some cons, and she said she had this jacket, this button-up like jean jacket type thing, and she was putting pins of her characters on it. And she says, "You bring me a pin that has one of my characters on it, and I'll give you a free autograph." And so we were going around the con floor and we saw some pins, and I can't even remember what character I ended up picking up. But Katie bought it for $2 because I didn't have the $2. And then, so Bear's brother, was it your brother or his roommate that worked on the set of Loki?
His brother. Yeah. They were
his
well, no,
roommate.
they both did. They were both PAs.
So which one of them got us the hats?
Devin,
Devin.
the C-47.
So for listeners, I will narrate, but we have these Miss Minute hats that have Miss Minutes from Loki on the head of it, and on the bill, Tara Strong signed it. So
Oh, that's dope.
this is a doubly
awesome.
exclusive hat because it's signed
Mhm.
by Tara Strong, but also only cast and crew of the show Loki have this hat, except for members of our team who got the hats.
That is
Hey,
awesome.
you want to sell a hat?
You want to sell a hat?
Never! $1 trillion.
Oh,
What if I
Jesus.
sell you
Alright.
Jay's left kidney?
Oh, now we're going to black market now, eh?
You
You
don't
probably
need
have
it.
to sell the kidney to come up
Look.
with the money.
Look, I'm not going to be the only one here. I refuse to be the only one in this podcast. So one of you guys have to tell me a cringe moment y'all have had with another voice actor or whoever.
Oh, I got one right now.
Okay.
Whoa.
So
Yep, go ahead.
so the Anime Fest just hit, right? Back in March over here
Yep.
in Jackson. Well, my great buddy over here, Jay, surprised me
Hi.
with a ticket. So we went Saturday and we were in line, and somehow or another, Jay paid for just the Saturday ticket. Well, some lines got crossed, and I ended up getting a weekend pass. I'm not sure how, but I wasn't complaining. So, we go through and we see everybody, and the voice actress for Azula was there, Gray Delisle. I was like, crap, because I have the box set for Legend of Korra, and I did not think about it. And yeah, I see that. I'm digging that poster. Well, Jay was like, I'm going to go get her autograph. I forget what picture it was that he got it for, but when he went up to go and get her autograph, I swear, if she hadn't held on to him, he would have melted.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, dude,
The-
100%. Because I was expecting like a handshake or something, but as soon as the next person left and it was my turn, she looks at me, opens up her arms, and hugs me. I'm like, oh, I was just
Dude,
like, oh my god.
she came around that table, and Jay's eyes went as big as dinner plates. And
Yep.
she wrapped him up in that hug, and I swear I saw all the tension leave his body.
She also kept doing the voices to my childhood and wouldn't stop. Okay. And I was like, I don't know what to say. All I could do was smile. And by the way, I said for you guys, not for me. I didn't say double on
Funny
me.
how that
Right,
always
here's
works.
here's a twofer for you.
I have never seen that man so speechless before. It was wonderful.
So
Mm.
I have one from Pensacon. It was a mostly good experience, except for I was wrong about something and kind of put my foot in halfway in my mouth. Steve Agee, who plays John Economos on Peacemaker and in The Suicide Squad, is also not Taserface. What's the character he actually is, Bear? Not Taserface in Guardians, but he's something else.
I think he's just one of the other Ravagers.
I thought he might have had a name, but anyways, I thought someone had told me that he was Taserface, and I saw a photo of him as his get up in Guardians, and so I walked up to him and I was like, I had no idea that you were Taserface, and he's like, well, because I wasn't Taserface. And then he talked about the character he actually was, and then I actually ended up having a good conversation with him talking about how I could do a John Economos cosplay. But it was just kind of like I just put my foot in my mouth a little bit there.
Well, that's like the con me and Jalen first went to back in 2014. So before we had got there, I had bought a meet and greet option for Jason David Frank, and the whole time up until the con, I'm stoked. Here I am about to get to meet the Green Ranger. Hell yes, loving it. So we get there that Friday, I think. go into the con, and we're walking around, and out of the corner of my eye, I see something green in this long line of people, and I'm like, "Oh, what's this?" And I turn and look, and it's him, and he has a booth, and I'm like, "What?" So I go and I get in line, and I'm like, I mean, I'm gonna meet him tomorrow anyway, but hell, another one wouldn't hurt. So I get up there, and I got through the line, and I had everything planned as to what I was gonna say, and then it just dropped, and I had no idea what to say. Got his autograph and everything, and then the next day came around, and I went to the meet and greet, and there was probably 20 of us in there, and it got to the point where he was asking Q&As, and I had no idea what to ask. But then I thought about it, and I'm a huge fan of Power Rangers. I can give you all kinds of info from Mighty Morphin up to like the first half of Turbo. So it got to my turn, and I asked him, when he first started, he was the evil Green Ranger. Well, then throughout the series, Zeo came in, and there was a part where he ended up becoming evil, and the Machine Empire brainwashed him into thinking he was the Machine King. So I was like, out of all that, did you enjoy, just being a Ranger, or was it more fun to be an evil Ranger? And the look he gave me was like if I had asked what his favorite fried chicken was. He just looked at me like, "Are you okay?" And I sat there quietly, like, "All right, please move on, because I have no idea what else to say." But it was,
That's a good question.
yeah, I put my foot in my mouth, but I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Y'all got
And then
y'all
afterwards,
flexible.
I thought of something else to say, because he had gotten, I think, the lead role in either VR Troopers or Beetleborgs, one of the two. And I was like, I could have asked him about that.
I miss JDF. I mean, he's on my wall for a reason. Like, he was the longest running Ranger. He was Green Ranger, White Ranger, Red Zero Ranger, Red Turbo Ranger, and then he pops up again in Dino Thunder
Yeah,
as the Black Ranger. So, like, he was the longest running Power Ranger. I got to meet him. It was really nice.
yeah, I've met him a few times, got some autographs from him, and yeah, man, it was phenomenal. Just an excellent person.
I don't think I have any like foot and mouth embarrassing stories from
Oh, well, that's
meetings
good for you.
Like I really
We'll
don't
make
like,
one at the next con.
I had an
Got it.
interaction with Michael Rooker that could have been taken as a foot and mouth, but if you know who he is, you know that it was all for fun, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But I got roasted by Michael Rooker, like essentially.
Oh,
So that's a dream for some people.
Yeah. So,
right. I would love
but
that.
again, it's like it's not a foot and mouth bad cringe anything because it's Michael Rooker.
Yeah.
And to say back on what Jay was talking about, yeah, we had that same interaction. The Titans and me, because I was Robin the day we met her. She hugged us too. I almost melted a little bit, but I was like, I was keeping my eye on who she played, and I was just like, I don't even know who to ask, like who she enjoyed most. So we just moved on. We just got a photo and moved on. Man, I really can't think of any other than getting roasted by Michael Rooker, and it wasn't even intentional. It was like he asked the girl in front of me at the Q&A line if I was her dad.
This isn't an awkward one, but this is kind of more of a sad but also meant a lot thing. We got to have not really meet because I didn't meet him, but we got to have an interaction with Kevin Conroy.
Oh yeah.
Our podcasts, Jay and Katie, went to meet him and get a little Batman figurine signed for the raffle. And signing something, I think was it like $50?
$50, yeah.
And so Bear sent them with the money because it was for charity. And as soon as they told him what it was about, he wouldn't accept the money. And that was one of the last cons he did before his passing.
No, it was actually a little deeper than that from what they told me. They said they had already paid.
Oh yeah,
And
he gave
then
the
he
money
found
back.
out it was for charity and told his attendant to give it back.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, either way, I mean, dude.
Because celebrities like him,
Yeah.
they go to these cons not to make. There are celebrities who go there to make money, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
Like,
not at
make
all.
your bread, boo boo. But
Got to get that honey.
it's like it's really meaningful when there's the ones that go there for the fans, and he was
Right.
one of them. He was spending the last time of his life with fans, and I just think that's really beautiful.
I regret not meeting him, to be honest with you. Like
I
I was
regret it
right by
too.
his booth.
He was
Well-
like within like talking distance. I could say, "Hey, how you doing?" and he could hear me if there wasn't crowds of other people there.
Yep.
That's how close I was to him, but I just didn't stand in his line.
Well, going off of that, there was a con, and me and Jay talked about this. Well, my Jay talked about this, within the past week or so. There was a con we went to that Stan Lee was at.
Mm-hmm.
And, we had gone through and, they were like, Stan Lee's now at his booth signing autographs. And Jay was like, oh my God, we have to go. So we start walking over there, and dude, that line was ungodly.
Yeah.
And we stood there for, maybe 5 minutes or so. And we both came to the conclusion that, we'll come back another time and meet them. And, obviously there would be other cons and everything. And true, there were other cons, but, life got in the way, work got in the way, and we never had the opportunity to go back. And by the time we could, it was too late.
I also never got to meet Stan the Man Lee, and it's
Me
one of
either.
the
It
biggest
would've been
disappointments of my life.
RJ has though.
Yeah. He got to meet him dressed as the Collector, no doubt, too, which is great.
Nice.
Love that photo.
But see, the y'all's Jay, he can say that. He can be like, yeah, I met Stanley, and that's something that a lot of people can't say. So,
That's
I
nerd
mean,
cred. That's
And
nerd
it's
cred.
something
that
that
is
no
nerd
one can
cred.
ever say again. Like, if you can't say that at this moment, you'll never be able to say it. Like,
Yep.
Right.
you missed it.
Just like how we've met JDF, if you ain't
Mhm.
met him before, you can't say it now.
Yeah,
Met him 3 times.
that one strikes a little tough for our podcast. Now, I wasn't ever a big Power Rangers fan, but of course he means a lot to Bear, and he was supposed to be on our podcast.
Yep.
Oh,
That would have been amazing.
Took
He has our information and
he
everything.
asked me when we went to the meetup down in I think it was down in Ocean Springs. He asked me, like, I was wearing the hat I'm wearing now, which is the Bear and the Beard hat, and he asked me what logo I had on my hat, and I told him, it's the logo for our podcast. He's like, I love podcasts. What's the name of your podcast? I was like, the Bear and the Beard podcast. He's like, what do y'all talk about? I was like, nerdy stuff like Harry Potter and Marvel. He's like, dude, that's awesome. He's like, do you want me to be on your podcast? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, look, he gave me a pen. I wrote on my business card a telephone number I could be reached at, handed it to him, and he said, as soon as I'm done with press for White Dragon, I'll get in touch. And he passed away before that movie ever came out, so it didn't happen.
He was on a path of doing good because it was right after right during the pandemic or right after.
During.
Basically, he was going to comic book stores that were financially struggling because of having to shut down for the pandemic and trying to set up like a pathway for them to have funds.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he hit Vans here in Jackson.
Yep.
Jay,
I missed
actually,
that one.
Jay,
Love Vans.
I actually have a video. Jay went there and got my Green Ranger pop signed and ended up getting a video because I had to work that day. And Jay told him what all was going on, and he took the pop, signed it, and had Jay film him talking about it. So I have that in my saved videos, and I also have a cameo from him that Jay got me for my birthday.
Kinda salty about that.
So those 2 videos hold a special place in my heart.
I
So,
say
oh, sorry.
I
Go ahead.
say no, you fine. I'm sorry. I say I'm salty about it, but I'm really not. Like I spent $80 on a cameo for Tank's birthday, right? And I'm like, here you go, buddy, from my best bud. And he's like, oh, this is amazing. Like, dude, when he was watching that cameo, he told his now wife to shut up while he's watching the video. Like that man was stuck to the screen. I was like, perfect birthday gift. So I go to get that pop sign, and he asked me, he's like, you want to do a video? I'll do a shout out for him. I was like, yeah. And I went up to him and I'm like, dude, I'm salty. I spent $80 on your cameo for your birthday not even a couple weeks ago, but now you got this. And I showed him, and he's like, dude.
That's so cool.
So, I have a question about cons for you all. I can't answer this because I've never spent actual like money at a con. But have any of you ever spent too much money on a possession at a con that you're still happy you did, but you're like, maybe that was a little too much money?
Yes.
Okay,
100%.
so define too much though.
Like, are we talking like $70, $100?
Like you debated whether or not you should actually purchase it, and then in the end, you're like, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
One of the things was actually this year at Anime Fest. I don't, and I didn't even buy it. It was a painting, right? It was a painting that my buddy got me for my birthday. He's like, "Do you want it?" And he ended up buying it off of the person anyway. And it's just a painting of Nina, the dog, and Alphonse from Full Metal Alchemist. And then Shao Tucker's in the background in the house just kind of looking at him. And it was a $70 painting. But it was a one of a kind painting. And then I got home and I turned it over and it said made in China. So all they did was they just painted the characters on from like a little Goodwill store painting and charged $70 for it. And I'm like, well, I mean, I guess it's sentimental because my buddy gave it to me for my birthday, so there's that. But it's like, really?
I have autographs that I probably didn't need that cost me money. But I mean,
how much did the heart of Tony Stark cost?
I talked that dude down from 120 to 100, but see, that's not even for me. That's for our table. That's a prop. That's I count that as an investment, sir. That's
true. That's true. But
it's an eye catcher.
It's cool. It's cool. I'm jealous of it. All of the cool nerdy stuff that I have from a con, either my co-host or a friend has gotten for me. So
he said, "I'm cheap."
I just normally don't, because it costs so much for me to travel. Like, it didn't cost me that much going down to Pensacon because I only put $100 towards it. But last time when I went to Mississippi Comic Con, I spent like $500 something on just the plane ticket.
Yep,
to get down there.
So I have one, and the more I think about it, the more heartbreaking it is for me. So, as everybody knows, Power Rangers came out in the mid 90s, right? Jason Frank showed up.
It did?
Yeah, it was what, 90, 95?
What's Power Rangers?
I don't know. It's colorful suits, big explosions for no reason.
Spandex suits.
Yeah, spandex. So I spent $200 on an original Dragon Zord, right?
That's a
lot. Yeah. And I got it signed by JDF, I think at Wizard World up in Nashville one year. And at some point, hard times hit and things had to be sold. And unfortunately, that was one of them. Yeah. And it
heartbreaking.
It has eaten away at my heart ever since.
I kind of want to go back real quick to what Bear said earlier about not knowing who somebody played. With that being said, and I'm not trying to. I'm sorry if I'm bouncing around too much, but have y'all guys ever had that to where, like, for example, I met Justin Cook this year at Anime Fest, and I knew he was Yusuke. I knew that he was that he played these voices. I knew he was Raditz, but I didn't know he was Evil Boo. And I went up and I told him that, and I was like, I didn't even know you played Evil Boo, my guy. And he looked at me and he did the voice. He's like, "Oh, really?" And I'm like, "Oh, so you are him."
That's wonderful.
He was great. I love.
Oh yeah,
We
dude,
got
he
to
was
interview him
awesome.
at Anime Fest. Justin Cook was amazing. No, I don't think I've ever had like. I've had times like that, like where I've walked up and looked at their like photo array, and it's like, oh, I didn't know that they also played this person or this person and stuff like that. But I'm one of those, like, if I know that you're at a con, I've done a little bit of research, or I've at least
Mhm.
looked at the photos to see what they're promoting that you're famous for. So, and I'm making my list of people I want to go to their table and stand in line to talk to based off of that. So if I walk up and I'm like, oh, I didn't know you also played this character. We had a interaction at Pensacon similar to that, where we got to interview David Kay.
Yeah.
And
Erisham himself.
we knew he was Erisham. We knew that he was Megatron from Beast Wars and a couple of other characters. But
he had been in Ben 10.
Yeah, when you look
So
at this
much
man's
stuff.
filmography, like he's been the grandpa in one version of Ben 10. He's played 4 or 5 of the aliens across the different versions of Ben 10. He was in G.I. Joe, the original series. He was in Transformers, the original series. He almost never plays a main character.
Mhm.
But his talent is on that level of main character voice actors.
Everyone hears it. Like when I heard Erisham, when I watched Eternals, that voice was just incredible. And a lot of that was him. Like we actually asked him that question when we interviewed him.
Yeah, I was surprised he actually talked to us about anything having to do with Marvel, though.
We asked him, like, we're not sure if you can answer this, but we have a question.
I mean, for the most part, that I have seen, at least for me, if you treat these actors and these people, these famous celebrities, if you treat them with respect, majority of the time they give it right back to you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've only had bad experiences, and I'm not saying this about every wrestler, but I've had bad experiences with wrestlers, and that's why, even though I wanted to meet Kane last year and I wanted to meet Sting, I was like, I've already had this many bad experiences with it. I don't want to do it again, kind of thing. So that's why I did what I did. But it's just like majority of the time, if I gave them respect, then they were very nice to me. They were very humble, and they were like, "Yeah, man, sure," you know.
For me personally, I have found that on the respect level and stuff like that, I try to keep it at a happy medium, somewhere between talking to them like they're a god or talking to them like they're my buddy. Like I have to find the happy medium in there to kind of balance out, or else it's going to go bad.
I was looking up because I wasn't sure the name, but we were at Pensacon and I walked right past a famous wrestler who I didn't think much. I know I recognized him from something, like I'm sure he's cameoed in something, but I didn't know him. Kevin Nash, and my buddy Christian's getting into some local professional wrestling. And I told him while we were gaming that I just walked right past Kevin Nash. He's like, what did you do?
So he ended up, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. After Shredder took the ooze, that was Nash in the costume. Nash was Super Shredder.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? I just never been big into wrestling.
Same.
But I know I recognized him from something when I was walking past him, like his face. I'm looking at the picture and I'm looking at him and I'm like, I recognize him, but I've never been into wrestling. And then I told Christian I walked past Kevin Nash. He's like, what?
He was in The Longest Yard, the one that Adam Sandler did. He was.
That's what I freaking recognize him from.
He was
Yes,
the guard
thank
that
you.
they swapped his steroids with estrogen pills,
Yes.
and he was rubbing his nipples.
He's like, they're just
He's
so
like-
sensitive. He
He's
got
like,
all
my nipples
emotional.
hurt, and I'm
Oh,
having hot flashes, and it's just so sensitive.
oh my god!
I love that movie.
I wish I would have had this conversation with you before Pensacon, because I love that character. That's like some of the best comedy relief in a comedy movie. Like, comedy movies don't usually need comedy relief, but
Yeah.
he was comedy relief, and I just freaking loved it.
Yeah,
It was, a different,
that was.
it was a different brand of comedy in a comedy movie.
Exactly. It just, oh, thank you for that. Now I'm gonna kick myself for walking past him. Damn it, Brian.
I met Kevin Nash, and that was one of the people that was not very nice. I don't know. Look, I don't know. I'm gonna give him that empathy there. He might have, we talked about it. They're on a plane a lot. It's back and forth. But he just was not having a good day, and all I wanted was an autograph from my mom, and I didn't want it. It was from my mom, and I was like, hey, my mom's a huge fan of you. I'm over here getting an autograph for her, and he just was not having it that day, and that's one of the reasons I just kind of steered shy from wrestlers. And it's nothing against him. Like I said, he probably was just tired, and it was a long day. It just, that really hurt. And I tried one more wrestler, and that was Ric Flair, and he was not having a good day at all. I didn't even go up and meet him. He was yelling at the con people, the staff, and I was like, yeah, nope.
Yeah, not gonna deal with that energy. Cons are for happiness,
Right.
Oh, it's like
Exactly.
I said, you gotta treat them somewhere between their gods and they're your buddy, and you have to find that in between for yourself. But they also need to know where they peg. Like, dude, you're in Mississippi at a Comic-Con for fake wrestling on TV.
Yeah,
I need you to know where you're at. You're not in Hollywood at some big San Diego Comic-Con where millions of people are chanting your name. You're in Jackson, Mississippi on a Saturday because people liked watching you go woo.
And so they all should have a little bit of humbleness to them. Like, even to the people where I lost my mind meeting them. To me, that's a big celebrity. But to the person standing next to me at the con, they may not even know who that is. There's tons of my nerdy friends around here that I'll list names that I'm gonna go meet, and they'll only know like 2 or 3 of the names, and then other names are like, I have no idea who that is. So like, when you get that big of a head when you're a celebrity, just know that there are still people you could walk up to, and they're gonna have no idea who you are.
Yeah. That's like me in every conversation I have with Mama Bear about music, because she's not an artist knowledge person. Like, she can hear a song, and if it's by one of her favorite bands, she can tell you. But then I can be like, who do you think sings this song? And she's like, I have no idea.
That's like, it was a couple of years ago. I think it was about the time when Jalen had that incident with Flair. My wife's aunt had a booth up, and I was helping her sell, the stuff that they had. Well, they did the whole Ric Flair's at his booth signing autographs, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then maybe 5 minutes after that, it was Mick Foley's at his booth signing autographs and take pictures. And I was like, oh my God. So when I was growing up, me and a bunch of my friends were severely stupid and did a bunch of backyard wrestling.
You too?
Yeah, it was fun. I've been put through tables. I've been hit with steel chairs. I've had glass tubes broken on me. It was a blast. My body hates me for it now, but I don't care. So, I went and I got in line to meet him, and one of the most down to earth people that I've ever met. Like, awesome. Insanely nice dude. Kindness just exudes from his body.
That's what I heard Mama Bear say about what's his name? Neville Longbottom from Harry Potter. What's his actual name?
That would be Matthew Lewis.
Matthew Lewis.
I met
He's
him
just,
at Fan Expo after he donated some prints to our raffle. The con previous. And
I've heard that he's
he
just a
is
little
very
gem.
nice. Yeah, he's great.
Jalen, didn't you get an autograph from him for your wife? He got so
we lost
excited he
Jaden.
vanished.
I think
Jay,
he was having connection issues
I think he is too. He sounded like a robot for a while.
for a few seconds there. I saw, yeah.
But yeah, he ended up, he got, because me and my wife were in line to meet Christina Ritchie, and I got her autograph, and he was in line and said that nothing but pleasant things to say about Matthew Lewis.
He says his internet crashed.
Oh,
Oh. No, not
Out of all the days.
Yeah, I know, right? He don't normally have problems. What it is I think he's too excited, and that energy is rubbing off of him and onto his internet.
It's just too much.
Because, dude, he's been blowing my phone up this whole week. Like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And I'm like, dude, chill, breathe. Your head's gonna explode. But no, I've been low key excited about it too.
We appreciate that.
Yeah,
Y'all can blame him because, like I said, before we started all this, I had nothing about podcasts, didn't know anything about them. And then he was like, "Hey, let's do this," and I was like, "You know what? I'm down." And now here we are.
And you know, podcasting wouldn't mean as much. I don't want to say us because I don't want to speak for Bear, but I'm pretty sure I can speak for him too with this. Like, if it wasn't for the community within the nerd community and the podcasting community that we have, like, it's not just me and Bear getting on camera, chatting nerdy for a couple hours every couple weeks. It's usually our friends and other people who have podcasts, and then we're joining on their podcasts and crossing over and hanging out at cons and meeting up at cons, and like it's all of it. The whole experience of being a nerd. I think everyone should start a podcast.
I can honestly say that is 100% accurate, because if we had not met like other podcasters and stuff like that kind of inspired us to keep going and encouraged us to keep going and encouraged us to go to cons and stuff like that, our show probably would have died out 2 years ago. Like as soon as the like the quarantine lifted, because we started ours during COVID.
We were bored.
Yeah.
Everyone's on lockdown.
Lifted and we started going back to work. If we had not already like gone,
we wouldn't have started a podcast without the
and
pandemic.
Started seeing that we can raise money for charity, and started meeting people that we could talk to on and have them on our podcast and be on their podcast and stuff like that. If it hadn't been for that, our show would have been done. There wouldn't have been a point for it anymore.
Yeah.
Because me and Brian would have been like, okay, well, real life's calling. Let's give up this crazy experiment that we did. And but since we met, so many people in the community and everything, it's made it that much better. Like, and it's just been great.
I think that's one of the points that we're trying to get across with this episode is cons, and everything that we're doing is wonderful. I mean, I've already said it before, but I'll say it again. I appreciate all the tips and tricks and information that y'all have given us to help us get this started. And honestly, yeah, I can say I've been quite a bit happier because this has given me something else to like dive into. I like doing my research. I like finding things out and everything. And I like trying new stuff. And it's given me...
And it'll lead to so much more if you let it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other beautiful part. Like, since you live in Jackson, or well, at least Mississippi area with me.
Yeah.
Dude, like, if you ever want to hang out, record, swap notes, if you want to come help us at any of our local events that aren't podcast related, you let me know, and you're definitely more than welcome. Like, when we go to cons like around here, if Jay can't make it, hey, Tank, come be on our staff. We'll get you in the fucking con for free. All we need is someone to watch the table while we're gone, kind of shit. You
I
know.
got you. Well, my calendar is open, sir. The only thing I've got going on right now, we've got that Huntsville Comic Con coming up, and then September. And I know I'm getting off topic with this, but I have to because it is a dream concert. Death Clock and Baby Metal are on tour this year, and I scored tickets. I scored tickets to the show in Atlanta in September. So, whoo.
Death Clock. Where were we before we lost Jay? We were talking about how some people can be really nice, I believe.
Yeah, I had that great experience.
I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
Don't worry. I told him your excitement. I told him your excitement just rubbed off onto your internet and killed it.
So while we're talking
100%.
about really, really nice, approachable people, I have to bring up my favorite famous person interaction I've ever had, and that was Monica Reel. She voices Bulma.
Okay.
And she also voices Sue in My Hero Academia. She does a plethora of other characters, but those are the two I know her from best. Walked up to her table. It was our first anime fest that we had a booth at, which was last year. And because we don't really talk anime, but because of that, Brian has watched My Hero Academia now. So because of this interaction, so I walk up to her table and I'm like, hey, I want to get your autograph to put into our charity raffle. She's like, oh, what's the charity? And I was like, well, it's our local Children's of Mississippi Hospital charity. And she was like, oh, well, here. And just grabs like 4 more and signs all of them.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And so we walk, I walk off. I come back later. I think it was like after that day, I think it was the next day. I walk up to her and I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know that, thank you so much for putting those in the raffle. We've already raised blank amount of money. I can't remember how much it was. And she was like, that's amazing. And then while she was talking to me, she got a phone call. So she had to take the phone call. And she comes back. She's like, I'm so sorry. I know that was very rude of me, but that was my husband. And today's his birthday. And I'm not there. So he was calling me to let me know that he was up and what he was going to get to. Again, very approachable, very real human being. So I just look at her and go, oh, that's awesome. Today's my birthday too. She's like, really? I was like, yeah, March 13th. That's my birthday. She was like, no way. I was like, yeah. She's like, all right, come here. And like, she grabs one of the Funko Pops of Sue, signs it, happy birthday to me, hands it to me, and says, all right, and now we got to get a photo. This is all stuff that I'm supposed to have to pay for. And
wow.
So I'm just starstruck. I'm in awe. And then as we're leaving the con that day, because it was the last day of the con, I walk up to her and me and the team walk up to her. I want to introduce her to the rest of the team that was there with me. They all meet her. We're talking about, having her on the podcast. She's like, what do y'all talk about? I was like, well, we just did an episode about Loki. She's like, I love Loki. And she's like, and I love WandaVision. I love everything Disney Plus is having, doing. And I would love to be on your show and stuff like that. And I was like, that's just so amazing. Like, she told us she's a Slytherin, but she's proof that not all Slytherins are evil. So, like, just little fun, nerdy things like that. She's a true nerd, just like I am. And then we ran into her at Fan Expo back in January. I knew she was going to be there. So I walk up to her. She recognizes me.
I bet you melted.
Yeah, she's like, Bear! I was like, hey!
You didn't have to say my name. No fucking way.
I was like,
no way.
I was like, oh my God, yeah, hey, it's good to see you too. And she was like, so I'm actually really glad that you came by because my assistant went and got another job. Boo. And I lost your email contact. I've been trying to reach out to you guys to get on the show. I'm like, okay. She's like, here. And she writes down her personal email and gives it to me. She's like, hit me up at this email around March and we'll get something scheduled because I'm booked solid until then. I was like,
so we're gonna
okay.
So we're gonna hear a Monica Real podcast here shortly?
Hopefully very soon. I told her, I
Hopefully.
sent her the thing saying that we want to do 2 episodes with her. We want to talk to her about being a voice actor. I mean, I know that that's boring, but and it's not what we normally do, but you know, that's what her fans are going to want to hear. And then we want to do a whole episode where we just talk nerdy with her, just about other things
Right.
she's interested in.
Well, I'll tell you, like I told Jay earlier, as far as interviews go, and this strictly my opinion, I look at it like, yeah, it's great to have people to talk to that are into the same type of stuff that we're in, like comics and movies and music and all that. But it's great to do interviews because you can look at things from other perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you'll have her on, and the first one you say you're going to talk about what it's like being a voice actor. Yeah, some people may not like that, but I can guarantee you there's going to be hundreds of thousands of other people that are going to tune in and be like, oh my God, this is wonderful, because it's what they want.
I will say that I am very jealous of you for meeting Monica, because that is somebody I've been wanting to meet, and I know she came to Anime Fest, I think, last year, and I was planning to go meet her.
2022. Yeah,
I
that's
think it was
because that's
last
when
year.
I met her.
Yeah, and I was like, I told my wife, I was like, I'm gonna go meet her because she's Bulma and all these other people, and I wanted to get her to sign an exclusive picture. So she also plays. I don't know if y'all guys watch this anime, but it's called Ghost Stories. And if it aired today, it would not be on very long.
Dude, I love that one.
But she plays the religious girl that's like, all you sinners are gonna die if you don't repent in the blood of Jesus. And she cracked me up, and I looked up the voice actor, and it was her. I'm like, no way, that's Bulma. No
That's
way.
super
and it's like
funny
these
because I
big
just
A-list-
said that same thing in a Fortnite match before we started recording.
What about Ghost Stories or about
No,
what?
I literally said, burn in fire, sin and repent, or you shall die in hell.
So Ghost Stories, it came out like back in 2000, and it only ran for like 1 season, but the reception for it in Japan apparently was so horrible that they just threw it out the window, and they brought it over here. It was like 2001, maybe 2002, and they got all the voice actors, and they were like, you know what, go nuts. And dude, that is some of the funniest stuff that I have seen. Wow.
Well,
But
I
yeah,
tell you what,
man,
I
it
tell you
was
what,
great.
Jay, be a little less jealous. I'm going to My Hero Con in June, early June.
How is that?
It's in
how is that
Alabama.
supposed to make me less jealous?
Hold on. It's in Birmingham. It's in Alabama. It's in Birmingham. If you get your ticket, I will come and pick you up on my way to that con, and I will introduce you to Monica Real, because she's one of the main
Where's
reasons
my
I'm
phone?
going
I'm gonna go buy that ticket.
Buy your ticket. I'll come and
because
pick you up, and we'll go to that con. I'm going to that con in another capacity, but since she's going to be there, I'm going to go talk to her because that's what I do every time she's at the con. So,
yeah, because like, dude, I told my wife, I was like, I want to get 2 autographs. One is Bowen, and one is the religious chick. Those are the 2 I want. And I ended up leaving my job, and times were hard, and I ended up not going, and I was so mad about it. I was like, I just wanted 2 autographs, man. Just 2.
Now, does that invite extend to co-hosts?
yeah, I guess.
No.
It's one of those. This is one of those cons we can't really talk about it. Like, I'm going for sure, and I'm going in another capacity other than the Bear and the Beard podcast. That's all I can say. But it's one of those where I'm having to pay for a hotel, I'm having to pay for my own travel. So yeah, I mean, dude, if you want to split gas money with me and get your own ticket and split a hotel room with me, dude, the Bear and the Hesitation Station can rock Birmingham for a weekend. I have other duties I have to perform while I'm there, but we'll fucking rock it.
You can call it a hesitating bear.
I'm down.
The Hesitating Bear Con.
I have a Deku pop that I need autographed.
Yeah, I gotta get Deku's autograph too.
Funny story about My Heroes. So I'm not big an anime person, like Bear said, but I got really into My Hero Academia. But this was not until after last Mississippi Comic Con, or maybe it was the one before, or it could have been both of them. But anyways, I remember a similar situation to the Kevin Nash and telling my friend Christian that I walked past someone. I told my sister that I walked past the voice actor for All Might, and I didn't
The
know.
bot.
I didn't say All Might because I didn't know the name All Might yet. I just said the dude from Dragon Ball Z. I don't
Vegeta.
really know because I never really got into Dragon Ball Z either.
Yeah, until Fortnite.
Well, even then, I'm still not into
Oh,
Dragon
really,
Ball Z.
dude?
I think the characters look cool, but I just can't.
No,
get into
yeah,
the story.
that's what I'm saying. Like
But
that's mine and Beard's closest relation to being fans of Dragon Ball Z is sometimes we rock the Beerus and Goku skins in Fortnite.
absolutely.
Like that's the closest we get to being fans.
But like, I love All Might. I love All Might. And so I walked past the guy who does the Young Midoriya.
Yeah. Oh, Sabat. He's
And
going to be
I
at Jackson
didn't-
Comic Con this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
he is? Oh, I get to
Yeah.
redeem myself.
Oh yeah.
I got to get his autograph.
It's
I'm gonna
like,
go up there with
Yo Midoriya, you want a cork? You want a cork, me boy? Eat this.
Young Midoriya, I am so proud of you.
He is also the voice of Yamcha, and I've been tossing the idea back and forth of getting the dead Yamcha pop and having him sign it.
I
I
mean,
think you would enjoy that.
I think you would too.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all too. If I had a choice between going to the Comic Con in Jackson and the one you were talking about in Birmingham, all the way to Birmingham, I will skip Jackson Comic Con and go to Birmingham just to meet Bulma, just to meet her and like
Yeah.
be like, "Hi, I'm a fan. What's your name? Name."
See, that's when it's going to be one of those good times to have me there because she's probably going to recognize me. I'll be like, "Hey, I sent you an email. I don't know if you got it, but we're ready to record whenever you are. I know you're busy. I want you to meet my friend Jay. He started his own podcast with his friend Tank. That's Tank over there, and I want you to meet these guys. They're from the Hesitation Station, and she's so sweet. She'd love it.
See, that's where it comes in handy because if we go, it's going to be nice because you'll be the translator. Because Jay's not going to be able to say anything. He's just going to be.
I can translate weeb speak.
Means,
I
oh
can
my God,
translate
I love
it.
your work.
Yeah,
I think you're a genius.
He says he really likes your Bulma and that he's really glad to meet you.
or you make him hyperventilate worse when he's doing the So what he's saying is he'd like you to kiss him on the cheek.
Wait, when did this become the Pick on Jay podcast today? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
About 15 minutes ago.
I never specified who I
It
was
about
weeb
when the internet
translating.
went out. Yeah,
I just want to point that out. I never specified who I was going to be translating for.
And I never
Um,
denied it was for me.
This is why I love doing other shows other than ours.
I appreciate the
Yeah,
the, support.
Look, I've enjoyed our other episodes, but this is a blast.
Oh yeah,
did
dude,
y'all?
this is my favorite episode right now.
I know that y'all said before we were recording, y'all wanted to talk a little bit about cosplay too. Did y'all want to talk cosplays?
Yes, I have a story.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah. So it was, what was it, 2014?
Big boobies, the end.
Well, that too. And we're not talking about yours. So 2014, we all, me, Jay, his wife at the time, and a few other friends went up to Nashville for Wizard World. Well, it was the first time that I had ever dressed up in costume, and I went as Bane.
bullshit.
He is still salty about this. So I dressed up as Bane
Bullshit.
from Dark Knight Rises, right? And he went as Anbu Kakashi. Now, I had I had the mask, the vest, the pants, everything. I was good to go. So we're walking around, and we're having a blast. Now, keep in mind, I am 6'4", 300, and at the time probably 50 pounds. So I am a big boy. I am large. Not always in charge. But The amount
true.
of love that I got throughout that con while I was dressed up as Bane was phenomenal. I had so many people come and just, hey, can I get a picture? Hey, let me get a picture. Let me get a quick picture. And I loved it. And then in the background, I hear Jay just going, this mother, I ain't got a single picture yet. And then finally, there's a group
Dude,
of
I was
Kashis that
so
come up
mad.
and they're like, hey, can we get a picture? And Jay gets the picture. And then right after that, I go through like 5 or 6 more people wanting pictures, and Jay's just in the background like, I hate this. This sucks.
No,
And I'm
see what had happened that the Kashis I asked them for a picture, sir. They they didn't
look. I'm
ask
trying to
me.
give you some face, man. I'm trying to give you face.
No, I am still. If y'all cannot tell, I'm still very salty about it. Look, I dyed my hair to be as white as possible. My hair, I styled it painfully. Okay, I'm doing everything I can to look like Kakashi. And this dude, first time cosplaying, at least just what I saw, 80 pictures. Okay. And I didn't get one single one. His sister was like, I'll take a picture with you, Jay. And I'm like, that doesn't help me, but thank you.
One of the pictures, we were walking through the voice actors and everything, and this lady came up and tapped me on the shoulder, and she was like, "Hey, I'm a elementary school teacher, and we're doing Marvel and DC, and I would really love to get a picture of you for my villain wall." And I was like, "Oh my God, I love you, old lady."
We had one what was that, 2 cons ago? We had my brothers come as vacation DC villains. One of them
Yes.
was Bane.
So he was
Vacay Bane.
He was so the Vacay Bane was a secondary idea because your other brother was doing the
Killing
Killing
Joker.
Joker, but it
Mhm.
looked like he was on vacation, so they just copied that into Bane, and they became a great duo. And they actually won one of the contest
They won
things.
the costume contest that year.
Yeah,
Nice.
and literally everyone that saw them was stopping them asking for photos.
Yep.
We had a lot of people stopping us when we did our team,
The Scooby and the gang. Yep.
If you can find it on YouTube, there is a video of the costume contest for Wizard World that me and Jay were in, and I think either he comes out first or I do, and I do the whole "you think darkness is your ally," and because Jason David Frank was one of the judges, and dude, it was phenomenal.
What
I'm
makes me
actually-
even mad, even more mad, I guess, is that JDF was like, "Oh, dude, you're awesome!" Give him a high five. JDF didn't even look at my album.
He's like, I don't know this character.
I was like, man.
What cartoon is
I
he
bowed
from
to
again?
him. I mean, but yeah, that's pretty much what he was thinking. I was just like, man, it was not a good time. And now I'm sitting here fat and out of shape, and now I don't cosplay anymore.
See, I didn't start cosplaying until I was fat. So I'm like Bane in that instance. You took darkness as your weapon. I was born in it. I started cosplaying. My first cosplay was Wilson Fisk. I shaved my head and put on my all black suit because that was around the time Daredevil was out on Netflix, and everyone kept calling me Lex Luthor. So I bought a cane and started walking around with a cane, and then people said that I was Kingpin. I've evolved since then I have a Captain America cosplay. I do Crossbones. I do Beast. I do Jim
Beast
Gordon.
is my favorite one. No. I take it back. What you just mentioned, Jim Gordon. That's my favorite of yours because that one. I mean, you look completely different as Beast too because it's blue. Everything I get that, but you really look completely different as Jim Gordon. I'm like, that is Jim Gordon. Cast him in a freaking something.
Put on the glasses. Put on the trench coat. I have the actual Gotham PD detective badge.
Nice.
That I ordered.
I haven't done any major cosplays myself. I am still edging my way into cosplay. But I am working on I've done Bruce Banner, but I feel like since I never painted anything green. A lot of people couldn't tell what I was. And then I did Shaggy, but all I did was just the shirt and the pants. I didn't get like a wig or anything.
It still worked because me and you were pretty much together that whole con, though.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have
in
the
any
whole
solo
crew together.
photos.
Yeah.
But one little salty thing about our group photos, there was all those people. I mean, we got stopped 10, 11 times. We were on our way to actually take a professional photo that we had to take that we were running late for. And everyone kept stopping us for photos. So we didn't have enough time to like give them our information to like tag us. So all these photos were taken, yet all we found was one photo.
Yep.
Out of all those photos. Those photos are still out there somewhere. If you see them, send them to us, please.
See, I've done Bane, and I've tossed around the idea of doing Kingpin.
Nice.
And I did a version of Captain Spaulding, but I didn't have the time to find the outfit itself, so I just did like his face paint and just went around talking about clowns.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Yeah,
whatever
pretty much.
works, right?
I will tell
Yeah.
you guys this, that I have not cosplayed in years simply because I've lost the passion. When I was younger, I had the passion to do it. I had a goal for it. I liked the people that came up and gave me the conversations that we've had, like, oh, dude, I love this or I love that. Stuff like that. And yes, you know, I kind of like the pictures too. It made me feel good about myself. But I have not cosplayed in years. And I'm happy to say that this coming con that we're going to this weekend, I'm going to be cosplaying as Toby from Naruto. Because I will be meeting the voice actor of Toby, which is Michael Yurchek. I think that's how you say it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting him, and I want to cosplay as his character, so I got the stuff. So I was like, yeah, why not?
I love that.
trying to think,
I
John,
know
I-
at one
Did y'all
time
die from excitement?
I'm not a big
I'm trying to think
Naruto
of one
fan.
Naruto character I've ever wanted to cosplay, and I can't remember any of them.
So
I know
Naruto's
Tech wanted to
another show I
cosplay
never
as
did.
Choji at one point.
I would love to do I'm actually working on I say working on, but I haven't done any steps towards it yet. But I'm planning on doing Blunt Man from Jay and Silent Bob
That would
for
be
Mississippi Comic Con. The only thing is the Mississippi heat when I'm down there, I can't do. I'm not going to go and buy an actual trench coat. First of all, trench coats are expensive, but I have this doctor's coat that that our Jay has given me information on how to dye it. I just got to get something big enough for it to fit in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to dye this doctor's coat the correct color, and that's going to be my trench coat.
There you go.
That would be dope.
Because Mississippi heat.
Now, if I get
Yep.
a wig, I can do Lunchbox. I'm just insanely tall.
See, I have several dream cosplays that I have taken 0 steps into building, but I will eventually, I feel like. And one of them is a Big Daddy from BioShock. I want to be the bouncer.
Yeah.
Big Daddy.
I love
and
that game.
then
That
I
would
want
be
to do
cool
a
see.
G1 Optimus. Those are my 2 dream cosplays. And it's going to take a lot of work because I'm going to have to build frames of PVC and all kinds of stuff.
I know that Mississippi Metahumans, I used to be, that's when I had that passion and I did a lot of stuff with them when I cosplayed. But I know that they had a person or a group that was fully all Transformers. And like they would spend so much money making those costumes, man. And it was just so incredible. And it was like, how did you make this? And like, I met the guy and he told me, he broke it down what he was telling me and how he did it. It's not just putting PVC and stuff. Like, I mean, I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm just saying like the way he did it was like so down to the cord. Like he's like, oh yeah, I put this here, I put this motor over here where I don't get hot, I put this motor in the eyes where they'll glow. And I'm just like, dude, there's no way I can follow that.
I have 3 that I'd like to do. Obviously, one of them is Kingpin, but thanks to Marvel and Endgame, I'm now definitely confident in my fat Thor.
Yeah, Thorbowski.
Yeah, and then for a hot minute, I've been wanting to do a Baymax.
Baymax is so easy. You just have to buy the custom made suit from Amazon.
Yeah.
I have to figure out where to go on Amazon to get that.
I'll
That
send you a
thing.
link.
Hey, I'm down.
I have it saved on
He's
a
like,
wish
I got
list.
you, fam.
Like, I got you, fam.
He's like, I'm
Because
5 steps
I
ahead of
too
you.
I too thought about doing that cosplay at one point.
Because I saw, obviously I've watched that movie and he did the fist bump with a ba la 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 la.
Yeah.
That killed me.
The only problem with that doing that cosplay is that you need a handler. You
Yeah.
have to have someone walking with you or you're gonna knock people over.
Yeah. I mean,
Unfortunately.
I do that anyway.
I'm also building a Green Arrow cosplay, so I have to get through my Green Arrow list of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, we have a friend of ours that is doing Ravager Thor, but he wanted to build the full like end of Endgame, Thor when he suits up,
Yeah.
but he's still fat. Like he wanted to do that. He hasn't yet, but we're hoping he does.
That's kind of the route that I was thinking about going. Is where at the end of Endgame where he's dressed up in his battle armor and all that.
Yeah. I'm trying to find
Well, I can tell y'all my favorite cosplay that I've done is Minato. I'm a big Naruto nerd. Okay.
Bless you.
And that was that was Minato's my boy, man. Like I dressed up, I got the wig, got it styled, got all the accessories, and I loved it. And that was one that I think one of my favorite moments from that was that Naruto, a guy dressed up as Naruto, and a guy dressed up as Jiraiya. We all did like a Rasengan, and we did a picture of it, and I photoshopped a Rasengan into our hands, and it was like perfect. I loved it. The only problem with it was the fact that I looked up at the camera, dead at the camera, while they're looking down at the Rasengan. I messed up that entire picture.
You messed up your own photo.
Yeah,
How
pretty
did you
much.
do that?
I looked at the camera. She's like, the girl that took it was like, "All right, say cheese." And when I heard that, I was like, "Hey, cheese."
Well, thanks to you, I have a new cosplay goal. I'm gonna be Jiraiya, and either I'm gonna carry around popsicles, or I'm gonna get some PVC, paint it black, and then put it through the costume. Find a Naruto and just lay down in front of them.
There you go.
That's like going as Nina and Alexander from Full Metal Alchemist, going in a full dog suit.
Or Batman's parents.
Or Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, that would be a good cosplay. Yeah, I might do that.
Someone was on TikTok, or maybe it was a post on Facebook. I can't remember. It circled around more than once on the internet. I've seen where there were some cosplayers who did Martha and Thomas Wayne, and they were like falling in front of Spider-Man's and Batman's. And I can't remember why they were falling in front of Spider-Man's, because loss, I guess. But I thought it was a very funny post.
because they could also be Uncle Ben and Aunt May. Technically.
Yeah.
That should be the cosplay. Trauma. We aren't people. We're just trauma. Superhero trauma.
I got a joke for you guys. Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready.
All right. So, Spider-Man is very confused about his months because there's only 11 months in a year, right?
Okay.
Okay. Get it?
No, there's
'cause
12.
he lost May.
Oh.
No, he lost May.
Wow.
Why did my brain just agree to 11
I love
months?
that.
That
Why
was
did
great.
my brain was totally like, yep, 11 months. Sounds right.
He also doesn't have any rice because he lost Uncle Ben. I mean,
Ooh.
Any rice? I don't get it.
Uncle
Yeah,
Ben's rice.
The minute rice.
Ogre,
Yeah, the minute rice.
Oh,
Yeah.
There it is. It clicked. It
there we
It
go.
clicked.
There we go. That
See-
one took a second.
The one thing I would love to do in cosplaying, though, on another note, is I would love to do like contacts. But see, like for example, y'all's phobia might be, you're underwater and or you have that whatever it's called, thalassophobia, where it's like you look underwater and it's super deep and you get scared or something like
Mhm.
that. My
Mhm.
phobia is things going close to my eyes. Like I cannot do it. Or if you decide to go scratching your eye, I have to look away. Like it's that
I
phobia is
cannot-
that bad.
I cannot watch people put contacts in, and every single
No.
time I complain about my glasses, someone's like, "Well, just get contacts. They changed my life." You get used to them. I tell them, "You do not understand."
And see, I
I
wear
will
contacts, so I
not.
can't wear colored contacts for a cosplay because
Mhm.
then I won't be able to see. So, like, even if I put on my glasses, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of putting in the colored contacts.
Right.
So,
No, you can like with Baymax, get you a handler.
right.
Yeah. Be funny as,
Well,
as shit though.
that's kind of how we had to be for RJ at Pensacon when he was all wrapped up. What character was that?
The Invisible Man.
The Invisible Man.
Oh,
Which, by the way, the strength that some people have to do these like full body cosplays in the heat, they are way stronger than me because I
Oh,
would
yeah.
literally be complaining from the second it's on to the second it's off. But he couldn't.
I
see
can't
at
tell
all
you
in
how
that.
bad
He had
Scooby
to guide
was.
him. Oh my god!
Scooby
Even
was
when
horrible.
we finally found you a little fan, it still wasn't enough.
Nope.
there was it either a few years ago, I think there was a guy at San Diego Comic Con that had a full sized Hulkbuster that he had made.
Dude,
Yeah,
if
imagine
you build
that.
No, you build something like that, then you start getting in contact with people who can like install fans and stuff and like ventilate it. You have to do that. That's
Yeah.
like I actually wonder if there's a statistic of how many people actually pass out due to heat because of their cosplays. Because sometimes people just they want to look really cool. But like I always think that some of these events would be even cooler if they would have like a Comic Con that took place outdoors and inside during the winter.
you
yeah,
have my
I mean,
vote.
I'd go. But I love cold.
I do too.
I mean, just almost everyone's cosplays would be warm except for the people who are barely wearing anything. So then I guess they're not being taken care of. But I mean, someone's freezing and someone's like heating up too much. Like
Yep.
you can't win everywhere. But I honestly think that I see more cosplays that I feel like people are sweating in than cosplays where I feel like people are easily breathing.
Yeah.
Most cosplays, like people talk about cosplay being this thing that people are just wearing barely anything, and that I mean it's true for some characters when people are being accurate to a character. For most cosplays, people are wearing more than they should.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're gonna get so warm.
Like for every Sailor Scout or Riku or whatever, you've got that person that's dressed up as the Hulkbuster or the Hulk or whoever, and you've got the ones that come through and they're novices, so it's their first time making it, and they may have missed a point here or there where they could have put a fan in or something to help with the airflow. And then you've got the ones that have done it forever that have 37 fans just in one like 3-foot section.
And I guess the other thing I'm not thinking about is not everyone goes to cons as long as we all do. Like
No, 'cause we're
every
there the whole
con,
time.
other than Pensacon, every con I've gone to with Bear, we're there when its doors are opening, and we're there when they're kicking people out.
Yep.
Like start to finish. we're
Both
there.
days too. Most of the time.
So I'm looking at that time frame. Some people really do get in the doors. They do their business. They're there for an hour or two, and they go to do other things. I never think of that mindset sometimes. That's probably better for some people who have those heavier cosplays.
Yeah.
Good thing I don't have heavy cosplay. So Guys, I really appreciate every single one of you guys coming in here and listening to us talk and just having a blast. And we had a blast making this episode. By far, one of my favorite episodes that I've done. I think I could say the same for Tank as well.
You know, first off, yes, more likely my most favorite one so far. I want to thank both of y'all for coming in, joining us. I want to
Not a
thank
problem at all.
everybody for, we're up to 100 listens, or probably over it by now. But I greatly appreciate all the support.
We're very glad to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
These guys have helped us out so much, and we cannot thank them enough. But if y'all guys have not listened to them, I think as of recently right now, their stuff is looks like y'all guys did a live reaction of Ahsoka, Blue Beetle, Spider-Verse. So
Yep,
if y'all
our
guys
nerdy
want to go check
reacts.
that out,
And y'all got a Star Trek
so go
one
check
coming
that
up
out. Go
soon, right?
listen to
Star
them.
Trek's coming up. Yeah, next. Well,
This
I think
coming,
it will have already come out when this releases. So yeah, so it's
Yeah.
our probably most recent episode.
Cool deal. Cool deal. I'll keep
So,
my eyes open for that.
Basically, go check them out. And if
We
you don't,
appreciate
then you're just wasting your life. I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding.
We're available on
remember,
Spotify
guys,
too. You can pause this right now, or just keep listening to it and
Oh no!
do the
Don't
back
don't
button
pause
thing.
us. Don't listen to him. No.
No,
Go-
it-
well, if
it's
you've made it
almost
this far, I mean, if you've made it
at
this
this
far in the
point.
episode,
just
you
finish it out a little bit.
Finish
and
it
then
out.
come click
Go
over
and
to
find
us.
the Bear the Beer podcast also on Spotify.
Yeah, if you've got this far, just finish
And-
it out. Go hit them up. Follow them, follow us, and great things will happen in your life.
I don't know why I said
Absolutely.
pause. I guess it's because that's where I hear all the ads say now. It's like pause the podcast you're listening to and go and follow this. It's like, yeah, but you don't have to do that. We're already toward the end of the episode. Forget that.
Exactly.
Finish this episode. I command it.
Finish this episode, then go to it.
Add you
look,
to my
guys.
hand.
Guys, remember to follow us. We are on Instagram, TikTok. We are also on Facebook, and we are also on Spotify. So follow Bear and the Beard and follow us. And we really hope you come in the next round.
It's been a blast.
Attention passengers, this is your conductor speaking. We are departing the hesitation station. Please stand clear of the closing doors.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a blast. It was such a good time sitting down and talking with those guys. And it was actually after that episode that me and Brian were like, we should just ask them to come and be on our team. So
Yeah, it just felt right. We vibe with them right, and
Yeah.
so. There
But
they
we
are.
hope you enjoyed it, and we hope you're looking forward to more episodes just like we are. They currently have 3 other episodes out now, and their episodes release every Sunday. So check Spotify for now, and go and check them out. Go and give them a follow, and we're hoping to have them on more audio platforms soon, and video hopefully in the future as well. But in the meantime, we're going to get out of here. I've been the Bear,
I've been the Beard.
and we want to remind you, as always, to stay awesome.
Stay bearded.
And
And
much
much
love,
love.
guys. We'll see you next week. Until then, we are out of here.
Out of here.
Boom, cut the check.
That was totally wicked!
Thanks for checking out another Bearded Bear Entertainment production. New episodes of this show are released every other Friday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time in both audio and video format. Audio episodes are available pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts, and YouTube is the only place for video format.
For listeners, subscribe on your app so your device downloads it automatically. And for viewers, subscribe and click that little bell so you're notified about all our new nerdy content. Also, don't forget to follow us on our socials.
Facebook,
Instagram, and
TikTok
are all great places to interact with us.
Many thanks to the rest of our team, all of our geeks of the round table, and all of our awesome friends of the cast. Much love, y'all. Lastly, for more cool music like this awesome outro track, go check out HarlequinSoul, Secret Apex on Facebook and Spotify. His links are in the description as well.
Talk at you next episode, nerds.
See you then!